A popular girl confesses her love to her friend, but he rejects her, not wanting to date her. The beauty decides to take revenge on him and begins to communicate with another guy, but soon it goes too far. The action of the series unfolds in South Korea in one of the famous art schools, in which every teenager dreams to study. Dong is one of the students of the school with a great love for music, who became a victim of bullies because of his appearance. John regularly picks on the guy for being overweight and occasionally spills food right on the table, making the guy to eat it all. The bully compares Dong to a pig and tries to humiliate him by making him to fulfill his insolent demands. The most popular student in the school named Yiji observes this situation from the sidelines and decides to take a photo in front of Dong to post on social media. The girl has a huge influence on all the students in the school as she is very popular on social media and hundreds of likes and comments are collected under her photos. Despite her behavior, Yiji is able to use her popularity for good and protects Dong from bullies, causing them to leave the fat guy alone. As a token of gratitude, Dong leaves an envelope of money in the girl's locker and also swears eternal loyalty. At the same time, we are introduced to another student at the school, a guy named Subin. The handsome young guy keeps away from the other students and avoids conflict, devoting himself entirely to playing the piano. Girls take pictures of the guy on their phones and long to get to know him better, but the only one he pays attention to is a girl he's been friends with since childhood. Despite their friendly relationship, many people notice Subin's warmth towards the girl, assuming that they are dating. Not too long ago, they were walking around taking each other's hands and one of the schoolchildren captured it on video. The video became so popular that people started subscribing to the girl who won the musician's heart, making her profile more sought after. Feeling social pressure, the girl tried to confess to Subin in sympathy and even gave a gift, offering a relationship. The guy remained adamant in his decision and reminded her that he only wanted to see her as a friend, as a result of which the girl fell into a deep depression. Soon the schoolchildren learned that there will soon be an arts festival, where everyone must demonstrate their talent. Jokuk suggests Daewon to play a duet with Subin, because she is a talented pianist and they can make a good musical couple. Hearing this, Subin's best friend becomes jealous, as she doesn't want other girls to get close to the guy she is in love with. At the same time, Daewon likes the idea and uses makeup to become more attractive and persuades Subin to play a duet. A while later, Yiji goes on a date to the park and learns that the guy would like to tell her something important. While walking, the girl accidentally bumps into the guy's back and he gently strokes her lips while helping her clean up the ice cream residue. It seems like the guy finally confesses his love to Yiji, but instead, he informs her that he wants to tell Daewon that he needs her help. The girl is disappointed by this outcome and imagines Subin and Daewon enjoying, while she watches from the sidelines and has no influence on the situation. At the same time, the guy continues to treat Yiji with the same care and kindness, so she hopes that she has misunderstood the guy and sooner or later, he will dare to tell her about his feelings. Soon after, Daewon notices the couple and approaches Subin to talk about the upcoming competition. The girl suggests they meet again to discuss a possible duet, which upsets Yiji, who is watching their conversation from the sidelines. At the same time, Jo-huk looks longingly at Sena, another very popular girl he's been in love with for years. A few minutes later, Dong shows up in class and is welcomed as a hero as the guy has signed a contract with a talent agency and will soon make his debut in the entertainment industry. As it turns out, the reason for this was Yiji's photo, which got him noticed by famous people in the industry. In the evening, Dong reports the happy news to his roommate, but this information annoys the musician, who is famous not because of subscribers, but because of his own efforts. The next morning, Yiji walks into the classroom and meets Subin in the company of Daewon. After learning that they will be a couple at the next festival, the girl is very upset and cannot calm down or contain her emotions. Disappointed in her friend and at the same time favorite person, Yiji runs away to the street, but Subin runs after her and stops the girl. He asks her to explain her actions, but ends up going back to Daewon, further upsetting Yiji. Feeling hurt, the girl is determined to prove to Subin that he chose the wrong girl and made a terrible mistake. The next morning, Dong returns to school dejected as the talent agency turns out to be not as great as he thought it would be. While reviewing the talented kids, the man was rude and revealed himself to be a fraud. Noticing Dong in the hallway, the bullies bully the guy and humiliate him in every way possible. One of the girls defends the guy, after which he asks Yiji to delete the photo with him, as he is being harassed with offers where the manager's only goal is to further humiliate Dong. Yiji refuses the guy, causing everyone to realize that her image is more important to her than her friends and classmates. Angry, Dong promises to become a popular person in order to attract the attention of real agencies rather than cheaters and those who want to humiliate him. A little later, Yiji asks one of the bullies to be her partner at an art festival, and he reluctantly agrees to the deal. In the evening, the girl calls the guy, but he ignores her calls. Showing up at his apartment, Yiji takes a compromising photo, trying to blackmail the bully. Not going along with the girl, he kicks her out of the apartment and goes to bed, even though she keeps banging on his door. The next day at school, Yiji tells her friend that she wants to get close to the bully so that she can make Subin jealous. Soon she notices the guy, but realizes that he does not pay any attention to her, which again upsets the girl. Moreover, Subin spends time with Dang, as they have a lot in common and a strong love for playing the piano. In the evening, the bully is awakened by a strange sound and decides to see what is going on in the stairwell. As he approaches the door, he hears a suspicious silence and opens the door as suddenly Yiji grabs hold of it. She won't let the guy say or object to anything and threatens to blackmail him if he doesn't play along and show up at school, holding her hand. The next day he sticks to the deal, but later the pair go to a dog shelter where they are assigned to clean the cages and remove dog feces. The manager notices that Yiji has shown up with another guy and wonders where her friend is. The girl doesn't want to go into details and asks Sun to focus on helping the shelter do a good job instead of trying to find a way to get away from here. A little later, the girl takes a photo together and posts it on social media. Subin sees this photo and feels some disappointment, though he tries to hide his emotions. At the same time, the guy continues to rehearse with Dawen, realizing that they can't work as a duet and are unlikely to win the upcoming competition. He starts to think that it would be easier for him to teach Yiji to play the piano, but it's too late to change his mind. Sometime later, Yiji asks Sun to stop petting the dogs because it gives them false hopes of being taken home. The guy doesn't understand such an argument and doesn't believe the girl, believing that dogs deserve to be loved with attention and care. After listening to the guy, Yiji realizes that in a way he is right and changes her attitude to feelings and their manifestation. Later at school, she loses her patience as it's registration day for the festival and she's about to come to the end. Seconds before the allotted period ends, Sung appears in class and registers herself and Yiji as a couple. Subin ignores the girl and the fact that she registered for the festival with another guy as she receives a strange photo. Looking at it closely, he recognizes the two men on and a bar that closed years ago due to certain legal problems. As it turns out, the guy wasn't always quiet and humble, as he grew up in a poor family and didn't have enough money to pay his tuition. With no way to earn money legally, he met a questionable man who offered him a dirty but high-paying job. Thinking about Yiji, Subin realizes that he made a big mistake and rejected her for nothing. At the same time, he was tied up in bad deeds, so he couldn't do otherwise as he didn't want to put her at risk. Daewon decides to send the video, but makes a mistake and sends it to all the students at school, causing the rumor to spread that she and Subin are in a relationship. In the evening, Yiji and Song meet to write their song for the upcoming festival. The pair divide the duties, with the guy being in charge of the music and the girl taking care of writing the lyrics. She offers to write about her unrequited love for the guy, putting the essence of her relationship with Subin into it. Sun feels a little uncomfortable about this and at some point realizes that he feels sympathy for the girl, watching closely as she creates the lyrics of their future song. Jo-hope gains confidence and decides to call Sina, who had previously mentioned that she likes handsome guys. Taking a picture and admiring it in the mirror, the guy assumes that he is handsome enough to write to the girl and correspond with her. Yiji tries to explain that beauty goes beyond the physical body, and you can't judge a person based on looks alone, but the guy doesn't listen to her. Noticing that Sina is watching the dancing guy, Johok also decides to show off his talent, but does so rather clumsily. In the evening, Sung returns home and notices that Yiji has fallen asleep at the table while writing the lyrics to their song together. Instead of waking the girl, the guy goes to sleep on a nearby couch, but suffers a nightmare related to his childhood traumas. A while later, the guy wakes up to the girl singing and enjoys her voice. Admiring Yiji from behind, Sun realizes that he has fallen in love with her when suddenly the girl turns around and offers to sing a duet. Meanwhile, Daewon and Subin continue to rehearse, but the piano playing is interrupted as soon as the girl confesses her love. These words take the guy by surprise, but the girl decides to stop being afraid and suggests going on a date. At the same time, Sun receives a message from an ex-girlfriend. The guy remembers that she used to be a famous singer, but because of one compromising photo of them partying, her career was ruined. The party photo affected the fate of both of them, so Sun had to change schools and leave the relationship as a memory, but he would not want to meet her again or resume in communication. At the same time, Subin meets with Yiji and claims that he has something important to tell her. The girl is no longer interested and makes it clear that she doesn't want to see or communicate with him anymore. Subin asks for a hug and Yiji does so, but reminds her that nothing more can happen. As they say goodbye, she shows her hand as one of the symbols they came up with sometime in the past. Each finger stands for an emotion and Subin points to her middle finger, stating that she regrets everything that has happened lately. Getting angry, Yiji shows the guy the same finger, after which he leaves for the bar. Here Subin is pressured by his boss and his comrade, resulting in him running away from the bar into an alley and crying, feeling weak. The girl happens to notice this and makes a phone call, promising herself and the man on the other side of the phone to take care of Subin. Meanwhile, Yiji remembers the beginning of the school year and realizes that Subin fell in love with Daewon the moment they met and their relationship was an inevitability. A little later, the girl checks her locker and finds a letter as well as an envelope with money. As it turned out, many high school students are willing to pay her for the sake of a joint photo to get more subscribers. Some time ago, the girl held the first rehearsal on stage and amazed everyone with her singing. At one point, the audience panicked, but not because of her, but because of the nude photo behind her, created by school bullies with the help of artificial intelligence. Subin tried to save his friend's position and turned off the projector, but the girl's reputation was ruined, but the number of subscribers only continued to grow. However, all this was in the past, so Yiji left the memories behind, trying to concentrate on the present. After some unpleasant memories, the girl goes to Sun's house to work on a song together. For her, it's difficult to find the right tone for the performance, so she decides to sing with her angelic voice, literally hypnotizing with its melody. The next day, thanks to an internal recommendation, Sina receives a scholarship, believing that some teacher did it. A little later, it is revealed that Daewon, whose parents are influential businessmen, was behind it. This offends Sina, as she does not consider herself a beggar or inferior to the girl, which leads to conflict. Soon after, Yiji communicates with Daewon and asks her to take care of Subin, as he is her friend and generally a very good person. After learning that Sina is sad, Johuk decides to cheer her up by cheering her up with his terrible dancing. Despite the fact that the guy looks ridiculous, the beauty begins to look at him differently and seems to start feeling sympathy for him. A while later, the long-awaited day of the art festival arrives. Daewon and Yiji are bothered by the fact that Subin is still not in the audience, as no one understands where the guy disappeared to. At the same time, Yiji is very nervous and afraid to go on stage again, as her last performance turned into a nightmare and she became a laughingstock because of the embarrassing photo. Sun encourages the girl and offers to watch him. The couple sings their song, causing the entire audience to cheer. Seeing people cheering and supporting them, Yiji smiles at Sun and thanks him for his help and support. At one point, the couple ends their performance, whereupon an unknown person uses a loudspeaker and claims that Yiji makes money from exposing and humiliating students through social media. No one realizes where this information is coming from as Subin suddenly appears in the audience and snatches the phone away from Daeng, thus proving that she is the one behind it all. Subin claims that Yiji would never do anything bad to other students. Feeling embarrassed, Yiji admits that she did take money, having influenced the popularity of several students, so everything said is true, and it shocks Subin. Soon after, Jo-huk starts working with a talent agency. The guy gets acquainted with his colleagues and agrees to have a drink, as he cannot help but support the collective. New friends claim that his drink is non-alcoholic, but it turns out that they added some strange powder to it. As a result, the guy gets sick, and his so-called colleagues shoot what is happening on video. Seeing the broadcast, Sana decides to protect the guy and rushes to the talent agency, where she shoots the guys and promises to ruin their careers. The cowards escape, allowing Sana to help Jo-huk get up and get home. Starting the next day, the high school boys avoid socializing with Yiji since they have learned the truth about her and don't want a ruined reputation. The only one who isn't afraid to get close to her is Sun, who sings a song to the girl and confesses his love for her. Yiji is not ready to reciprocate and asks for time to think, so the guy leaves her alone. At the same time, the girl begins to smile, realizing that Sun has become not indifferent to her. Subin has been watching all this from the sidelines and feels his heart broken as he has lost the girl who was in love with him until that day. After meeting Dang, Subin asks the girl to get rid of her toxic habits of harming people or else she will turn into a real monster. A little later, Subin meets Yiji in the park where they have been playing since childhood. The guy admits that Daewon paid him to teach her to play the piano, but now he has realized the true nature of the girl and regrets his rude attitude towards Yiji. Subin admits that he actually feels sympathy for her too and would like to be together, but there is no chance anymore because the girl has realized that she is in love with another guy, and it's Sung. Soon after, Sun leaves town and Yiji is sad, missing the guy and sincerely wishing for him to come home as soon as possible. Meanwhile, Sana takes first place at the festival thanks to an incredible dance performance. Jo-huk also receives an award for his efforts and celebrates with a dance gesture, dedicating it to Sana. Dane hypocritically congratulates the girl, but Sana is reluctant to socialize with her. The girl thinks the rich schoolgirl is a terrible person because she is incapable of being sincere and buys friends with her parents' money. The truth offends Daewon and she loses control of her emotions, claiming that she didn't choose her family and always tried to do what she thought was best. Enraged, Daewon pushes Yiji, who comes up to her, but is immediately slapped by the girl. As it turns out, Daewon wanted to renew her reputation and left money in the popular schoolgirl's locker, but Yiji isn't going to help her. After the fight, Yiji goes to the park and rides on the swings when suddenly someone offers chocolate milk. She assumes it's Subin, since only he knows her tastes, but it turns out to be Sun. As it turns out, just before he left, he had been chatting with Subin, and the latter told him about the girl's preferences. The piano-playing guy realized he had lost Yiji, but wanted her to be happy. He deliberately shared secrets with Sun so that he could win the girl's heart and be by her side. After learning all this, Yiji gets a little upset as Subin was a friend to her and she misses spending time with him. A few months later, she finds Subin's farewell letter. He is left but promises to come back after he solves all the problems. The guy asks Yiji to continue singing. After all, she has talent, and with Sun's support she will succeed. Soon after, the girl starts her blog and live broadcasts, which contributes to her career and increases her popularity. During one of the live shows, the girl gets a call from Jo-huk and Sana, who have started dating. The couple invites Yiji to a concert of Sona's band, but she doubts whether to do it. In the evening, the girl shows up at the event, but someone unexpectedly takes her hand. This person turns out to be Subin, who wants to kiss the girl and is determined to get her attention. Sun sees all this and is jealous of the girl, but he can't influence the situation in any way because of the performance on stage. Yiji realizes that she cares about both guys and finds herself in the middle of a love triangle where she has to decide whether she will stay with Subin or Sun.